Welcome, welcome, Youest, you listeners, my beloved friends, soul family, and amazing, ambitious, soulful people I know you are. I'm so excited. We have an amazing guest today, really special, just powerhouse woman. It sounds a little funny. I fell in love with her energy and her voice. Actually heard Sue first in Clubhouse and then just loved her authenticity. And you're going to get to know her and get to know all about her genius and brilliance around being an Instagram expert. So let me introduce you now to Subi, also known as the Instagram expert. She is the creator of the most comprehensive online Instagram course, Ready, Set, Grow. Over the past 8 years, Subi has helped business owners turn Instagram into their most effective marketing platform. Super cool. She's been featured on Netflix, spoken on prominent stages all over the world, and has helped thousands of people exceed their bottom line with her courses and Instagram coaching. Subi lives and breathes her belief that you are never too old and it's never too late to make an impact on Instagram. I love that. I love your energy. Welcome, Subi.
Yeah. So was it my Boston accent that you loved, or?
You know what? It's a good place to start because I think this is important. If we're really talking about, in Clubhouse, I couldn't even see you, but it was what I picked up. I got a little bit of the accent, which made me feel like I was at home, which I loved. I loved your energy, and I could tell your passion for what you do, your authenticity. It was clear to me. I think it was a room. I love Rachel Bealey is a dear friend and a client of mine. And I was in her Work Your Brand room and I heard you and I was like, all right, I need some of that. And I need some of that energy wise. And, you're just genuine and you could feel that. So
Thank you.
Came across.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So let's get to it. How can I help you and your audience today?
Well, I would love to go deep into this because there are, I know you know them, but there's a lot of misconceptions, beliefs. You hit it all. I mean, when I was reading, you talked about your bio and that Instagram, that you've got to be a certain age or a certain amount of followers, or that there's a certain way to do it, or that you're too old, it's too late, it's not working, I should have more. There's like all of this. I hear it both from my inner little sweet critic, and I hear it from my clients and from people and from friends and colleagues. And so I just want to turn this upside down and talk about your experience and strength and wisdom.
Yeah. So I think mindset is everything. And when you really know what impact you want to make in the world with confidence, you can lean into that. And I lean into it every day. And as someone who has had a lot of businesses starting at a very young age, like 22, right out of Simmons College, I have a degree in nutrition. And and the job that I was offered after college fell through, and I ended up doing what I loved. And at the time it was hand painting clothing. And I turned this hand painting clothing into hand painting boxer shorts, silk screening boxer shorts. And I grew $1 million business when I was just 22. And I did not have a degree in business. It was just me leaning into what brought me joy, and having that experience at such a young age, I am sure attributes to so much of my continued journey of successful businesses. And most importantly, the piece that I call joy, because everyone wants to be happier, but the joy is the bliss, is the passion, is the energy that you mentioned. And I always lean into what brings me joy. And if there is not something that I'm feeling, I'm assessing it, auditing it, shifting it and morphing it. So me teaching Instagram marketing happened 8 years ago. I am here at my home on Cape Cod, and I had a retail shop, a seaside shop, a seasonal shop on Cape Cod for 7 years. And I loved it. It was so fun. And I was doing everything, teaching social media and trying to get more people in that store. And then I discovered Instagram. So that's a little background for your audience to understand, how did I claim the Instagram expert? I'm just like, I know that I want to teach business owners how to have the same kind of success that I had at my store because it really works. And so I was my best case study. And I knew nothing about online marketing. I knew nothing about, putting myself out into the world, doing video and all of the things that really matter when you're growing an online business and reaching a global audience. And Instagram gives you that for free. It gives you an opportunity to take who you are. It's essentially a micro website where
Mm.
there is search engine on Instagram in your username, in your name field, and there's a way for you to basically make a promise in your bio with 150 characters of who you are, what you do, and what's in it for those who choose to follow you. And so many people get confused with not having engagement, and it's more about who exactly are you talking to and how can you put that content out in a way that makes you relatable, in a way that makes them say, that's my gal. I need a little of that every day, a dose of that energy, that information, that motivation, or whatever it is that you do as a business owner. And so the more succinct and clear you are with your niche and your purpose and your passion, the more creating content becomes easier. And I've experienced this over the years. We've grown a thriving business. I now have a team of 20, and, we make impact every day teaching Instagram through our signature course, Ready, Set, Grow. And because it works, the way that I teach it and break it down for all of the 5 neighborhoods really works. And we work primarily with women 40 and older. Like, we know who our target audience is, and we break things down so they don't feel intimidated or, not techie enough or don't have photo skills that you need. So there's a lot here that I'm saying. So I'm just going to let you kind of interject anything that you're extracting and making sure your audience has the next step.
That's so good. Yeah, there's so much. I'm like taking notes, and I actually, well, let's go first too, because you just mentioned it. And I do want to talk about it. I've been curious about the 5 neighborhoods. I'm like, oh, and if it's okay, we'll go back. I have some other
Yeah,
thoughts, but
totally.
let's go into it, because what does that
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
So I've coined this phrase that Instagram is a village, because it really is. There's
Mm,
almost 2 billion monthly active users. And when I started teaching, there was 104 million monthly active users. And so
wow.
now you've got your feed, you've got stories, you've got IG Live, IGTV, and Reels. And that's a lot of places to create
Yeah.
content. And most people feel like they need to be doing all of it. And the way that I teach it is to master one neighborhood at a time before
Mm,
feeling like you need to do all of it, because you need to go from A to B before you get to Z. And Z is Reels. Reels are, in my opinion, the most challenging and most like creatively, like there's so many creative elements that you can put in a reel that matter. And it's in, a short video. So there's a lot of nuances in each neighborhood. There's ways to optimize the work that you do in each neighborhood. And a lot of people don't check all the boxes. They post on Instagram and they check it off their to-do list, and then they move on to the next item on their
yeah.
list, when indeed the most important thing is the engagement and sticking around, and don't post and ghost.
Oh, I like that. I have totally done that before, and then realized, like, oh my gosh, there's all these comments right after. I try not to do that anymore, but don't post and ghost. I love that. So do you have a strategic, like, which neighborhood should you go first? And we know Reels is last. So you don't go to
Yes.
Reels until it's like, I feel like it's like you don't get your PhD until you have finished 8th grade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the first and the most important is the feed, because the feed is the evergreen content and it's the
Mm,
promise that you made in your bio. So if you aren't showing up as that go-to authority, expert, leader, educator in your feed consistently with content that your follower wants to see,
Yeah.
The trust isn't built as quickly. And
Mm.
so the feed is like, picture this. Instagram is a magazine. The bio is the cover, the promise that you're making of the content that they flip through in the magazine, but they scroll through in your feed. Each post stands as a piece of the whole, which is the unity of the feed, that they, no matter where they land in your feed, there's a reoccurring theme, message, statement, point that aligns with the promise in your bio.
Okay. So got it. I love that magazine idea. So the bio is important. And I have to say one thing I appreciated with you, just side note, because I think we had connected through Instagram, through the messaging, and you had taken a look and you're like, this is a better word. This is a better SEO word, search engine optimization word. And
Yeah.
I was kind of like, shame on me. How did I miss that? Like I knew my website and SEO. I understand that. I had no idea. I'm just going to call myself out on it. I thought, oh my God, how much more am I missing? Because
Yeah.
I've taken courses and did not learn this. And so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, in Ready, Set, Grow, we really take you, there's 9 lessons, and we take you from the very beginning of like building a boss bio and what you need to know down to the contact buttons and where everything is, so that you optimize that bio. It literally is your business card in today's modern marketing. And like I said earlier, your website, if you do it correctly. So I saw that you were missing search engine optimization. To everyone here, if you type SEO in my bio, you'll get a guide. It's another feature on Instagram where you can create a guide. I don't want to overwhelm anyone. I just want you to know there's a resource that my bot, Beth the bot, can deliver to all of you that might be like, wait, what are they talking about? And this guide just takes you through what that stands for, what that means, and how all of you can also optimize your bio.
I love this. What's coming up for me, and we'll go back to it, is the feeling of overwhelm, the feeling of like,
Yeah.
holy mother, like where, before we do that, so we just finished the neighborhoods. I know we got, all right. So the feed is kind of first, we know reels or last. Is there any like,
So let me continue with the other 3.
perfect.
So stories are literally how you amplify, promote, and broadcast the content in your feed. So stories should be done consistently. Is an opportunity for you to talk to your followers. Most people seeing your stories are your current followers, unless you get discovered using a geolocation, unless you get discovered or shared into somebody else's Instagram account. And so this is one of the many reasons that we share some of our feed posts into our stories, because other people can go to that feed post and then share it into their story if they like it. For example, today we just posted, and I'll grab the link for you so that you can have this be evergreen in the recording. We posted a quote that a lot of people are sharing. And this quote basically says, there's no competition because nobody can be me. And so that is so shareable. And we're
Yeah.
getting a lot of engagement on this, a lot of saves, a lot of shares. And that's what you want to do. And there's an alignment with, like, that's exactly who I am. Like I lean into the true essence, all my hats, all the color, all the things that you feel or see online show up everywhere. So that quote has that kind of high energy vibe and is shareable. So stories allow you to really take your follower on a journey every day. And so many people just create noise in their stories, and they're random, and the clips don't make sense, and they're not in a specific order. So
Yeah.
if you follow along in my stories every day, you will see how this is done in a storytelling way, so that people are with you on the journey. They get to see the backdrop of your life. This is where you can share the green juice and the dog and the kids as you're teaching, but not literally make them the star of the story. The content is the star of the story, but I let you see the backyard of my house here on Cape Cod, or the ocean, or when I'm in downtown Boston at our apartment, I'll show you the view out of my window without talking about the view out of my window. So when people feel more intimately connected to you and they identify, like, oh my God, I have that same hat, or I have twins too, or there's some aspect about you that's relatable to them, they will continue to come on that journey with you and follow you. So that is stories. Next is IGTV. So Instagram has a channel, which is basically your own TV channel. And if you're someone that just doesn't have the bandwidth to do a YouTube channel like we do, which by the way has 400 plus videos that you can all like consume for the next 2 months. It's just my name. If you search on YouTube, you'll find my YouTube channel. But Instagram basically has that in an IGTV. You can create different series, which are categories of content. And IGTVs, a lot of people don't know, but in the description, you can put live links, even if you don't have 10,000 followers in a IGTV channel, not in your feed post, but when you tap into the channel of an IGTV, those links are live. So if you have good videos, IGTVs need to be over a minute, and you have people and you're doing them well with a good call to action, people will tap the link in your IGTV. It's so opportunistic. A lot of people don't understand this, and there's a lot of nuances. And this is lesson 5, I believe, in our program, Ready, Set, Grow, all about IGTV. And there's more to optimizing the cover, the size of the cover, the call to action, the description, the hook at the beginning, all of this. You only get like 75 characters to hook them in. All these details are really taught so there's no overwhelm. I take away overwhelm and frustration, and I bring empowerment and confidence.
I love it. I think what's important to because I can sometimes hear listeners with questions. And I think it's important to remember back to what you said in the beginning, that this is coming out of a place of joy and empowerment and wanting to make an impact. And I know, because the people that listen, and I know for myself too, this is a vehicle, a tool to make a way bigger impact. And I think, because I can see it with you, when you get behind that aspect of this is joyful, this is helping, it becomes less like, am I selling this? It's like, no, are people being moved by this? And can I serve at a bigger level?
Yeah. And, as a content creator, it really is your job to let people and lead people where you want them to go without being salesy and spammy and aggressive, because they don't know what you want them to do. And there is a way to say it. Like, if you are interested in learning Instagram for your business, if you want to make money, if you want to get the right followers and buyers, then my course might be of interest to you. It's not like buy my course. It's like, if you are this, then this. If you're struggling with this, I know that this can help you when you're ready. But because even if they're not ready now, they'll come back to you if you make them feel good and you help them, for sure.
I don't know if you subscribe using Instagram words. I do feel like, and this is part of what I loved about your energy, is that you're bringing in, you can call it, to me, it's a little more of that powerful feminine energy, which is less like in your face. To be honest, I'm turned off by hard sales. I'm like, you got the wrong girl. I don't even respond to that. But it's true. And and it's funny. I got to be honest. I don't go on a lot. I'll post and I'll do my 10-minute scrolling to give hearts and love and comment. I kind of call it my 10-minute walk in stroll. And you've been popping, I've been looking at your stuff, and I'm like, it's fun. I feel you. And I think what you were saying, as the creator of this content, we've got to be true to ourselves. That's the whole point with the Youest. It's be that and show that.
Exactly. And for a lot of people, that's hard, because most women 40 and older did not grow up with the phone in their face, and they don't even know where to look, or they feel like they don't know where to look. And we got you covered with that too. I really, the lens of a camera is your one person. And I teach that. And so I always envision my community on the other side. And we have over 3,000 people who are in Ready, Set, Grow. And I have a lot of high-end coaching clients that we work very closely with. And often wins are doing a live. Wins are, oh my gosh, I did my first IGTV and I did it. And so once you do it and you feel it, and maybe even have a sale from it, you're like, now she's talking. I get it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you want to make that impact and lead, you really need to understand how to bring them on the inside of an opportunity and experience. And for so many of our clients, the community on the inside is just gold. It's
Yeah.
what they crave right now more than ever, is just, common, collaboration and support. And
Yeah.
it's just how you make people feel. It's like,
Mm.
are you, and you don't, you lean into your personality. Like, I don't take myself too seriously. I have a lot of fun. I'm very active. I want you to understand that you don't have to have the phone in your hand all day, and you can still make money on Instagram. All of it. It's all there for the taking.
Yeah. No, it's really, I always say, I don't say my mind is blown, because who the heck wants a blown mind? But I say my mind is glown. It's glowing. It's glown from you.
Yay.
No, yeah, no. And this has been like a little bit, I know I'm not the only one. I've been hearing this from many, both clients I've worked with and people that I just know, and colleagues that are like, this is like the thorn in my, I don't want to do it. How often do I have to do every day? And I'm getting a whole reframe.
I'm so glad, because honestly, of every social platform,
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Instagram is where the conversions happen. So
Mm,
because you found me on Clubhouse, hands down, warmest, hottest leads are coming in to Instagram from Clubhouse.
yeah.
Conversions are happening on Instagram because they trust me from hearing how I teach in Clubhouse,
Yeah.
knowing that I've been a lifelong entrepreneur with a lot of experience, and, being relatable to my audience. And so I'm not relatable to everybody, and that's okay. There's so many people on Instagram, but when you identify who your audience is,
Yeah.
and you know what they need and how you can support them, it just gets so much easier and more fun to do.
I think that's the piece, Sue, that's really, and I've had a lot of tastes of this, like when I've gotten into it, or I've had moments where it was it was the full moon a month ago, and I was like, I'm going to do a full moon little reading, and I literally got out of the bath. I forgot I was doing it, but I had announced it, and I'm like, literally, like, no makeup, in my PJs, my hair is wet. It's so funny. You can actually see it. There's like, I put sparkles on it. It was so much fun. I had a ton, for me, it was people coming in. I was like, this is actually fun. And you said that.
Yeah, well, relatable is so important. And if you want the polish to be with the makeup and the great outfits, over on my YouTube channel, that's like high quality video. But the day to day,
Yeah.
the real, raw, authentic Subi happens in my stories. And then obviously my feed, that analogy back to the magazine, is really hopefully hitting home with everyone tuning in.
Yeah. And I think you really went through this, but I was going to ask, there's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's so much out there. And it sounds like, I know you're the Instagram expert, but I'm sure you've looked at the other ones as well. Yeah.
I spend no time on TikTok because bandwidth is everything.
Yeah.
And there's always one more thing. And I'm heavily committed to my Clubhouse, club, The Real Deal, and my daily rooms. And Facebook is definitely a place that we have a presence, and I will be going live there on my page occasionally, but I do have a very active group. But Instagram keeps me so busy, and we've been able to scale a wildly successful business going all in on one platform and not feeling pulled. And that's a big problem for a lot of people, is the distraction from all of what's out there. So yeah.
Super. No, it's helpful. I think, what I get is, it's like, you can't, if your feet are in, like, you can't have your feet everywhere. You got to pick the place and stand there and root there. Yeah. You got to plant the tree, whatever that, I just totally messed up that quote, but plant wherever you're rooted, or something like that, or grow where you're rooted.
Yeah. And where the joy is, right? Like, so, once you feel confident about doing Instagram correctly, then you will have more joy with that. And with the joy will come just the confidence that we've talked about, and the desire to do more. And so, I just think it's so important to, understand how to do it strategically and not just do it because everyone's telling you to do it. And that's
Yeah.
kind of been my life mission for the past almost decade. And I get to meet cool people like you and
Aw.
share to your audience. And, you know, to everyone listening, I would love to meet you. I always say whenever I do an interview, just come over to the Instagram expert and let me know on my last post what your favorite thing is that we've talked about, or if you have a question, ask me there so that I can meet you, because so much of this, what we're doing, people listen, they take notes, and I have no idea who you are that you're listening, but when you actively come over, I will come over and say hello back to you. And I think that's the relationship piece of what we're doing here, you and I, and what we can do collectively within our communities is magical, because the more you're connected to like-minded business owners that you align with, the more you will just make this world a beautiful, happier, more connected place. And that's a big part of my mission as well.
All right. Amen to that. My Boston sister from another mister. I'm like that. Well, I love it. I love your energy. I love the Boston roots, the planted in Boston. Before we wrap, I always ask, I call them heart flares. If there's anything your heart is like, I just need to say something that I didn't say, or I didn't ask you a question. If there's any last heart flare to share.
This was great. I think you and I align with so many of our values. And I think, you know, this kind of soul sister energy that you and I are feeling, I hope that all the listeners feel as well. And clearly we can't go over everything about Instagram, but I think we did a really good deep dive of understanding what's possible if you just understand that you can attract the right people, your people. They're there for the taking. You just need to strategically understand how to deliver the content that they desire, need, want, and will consume. And it's a lot easier than what people think.
This has been awesome, both personally, I will say, and I know everyone listening and beyond, this was really helpful. And, you know, one of the biggest takeaways I'm just going to say is also reminds me of Joseph Campbell, follow your joy, follow what makes you feel joyful. And I subscribe to that, believe in that. You're living it, you're breathing it, you're being it. Really appreciate you. This was such a fun, joyful conversation and so helpful, and love the whole, like, this can be something that's really, that brings out your light and helps others to feel theirs as well, whatever way you're doing that.
Yeah. The more you shine your light on others on Instagram, the more the light shines on you.
Beautiful. Well, there's the heart flare. Yay. Oh, what a great conversation, and just appreciate you. This was so much fun. Sue B. I keep seeing the little bumblebee. So great.
You have to come visit me on the Cape. We'll hang out. Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. So fun.